I think we got to lead with the most recent game. Minnesota Wild somehow, like, that looked so bad. It couldn't have started worse against the Islanders. And then the MVP of the Minnesota Wild finally stepped up, did his thing.
Tony D is so back. Like a true jackass. So he put the puck in his own net twice that game because one of the other ones went off of him. Dude, and then I remembered it was either his first or second game when they played Carolina. First shift, the puck went off him into the fucking Islanders net in that game too. It's the third time the puck's got off him into the Islanders net. And let me tell you, he stinks. He looks like shit. Oh, it's so funny. And like that own goal that he scored, it was clean. Like
his arm was impeccable.
What a shot, from in tight. Like I couldn't believe. No chance. I could not believe it. Like, because it was very confusing, like watching in real time. I was like, how the fuck did that end up in the net? And then the replay, just like no one touched him either. He's like, threw it in his own net. What a goal. And then just the onslaught from there. Well, it was like 5 minutes where they really poured it on, but like they looked fucking awful that game. I thought they were gonna like take off because Rossi gets that one early, and then immediately the Islanders respond like less than a minute later, and it did not look good. At no point did they like have any, like, I don't know if there was another 5 or 10 minutes outside of that flurry of goals. And even then, like, one was a deflection, one Tony D scored himself. Like, they just didn't look great. But I mean, the other day they scored 6 goals to get the job done. But like, if you're the Islanders, they come in hot 8-2 in their last 10, pushing to get a wild card spot. That had to have been unbelievably deflating. And of course, it's Tony D that scores twice on your own net. That sucks. But that was a weird one where it was like, I feel like they should be down by like 10. Because at one point, like, I think the Islanders had like 12 straight shots on goal. But shout out Tony D, the MVP. Great player.
The best move Guerin has made all year was Lou signing Tony DeAngelo.
Yep. So 2 legends, Ryan O'Reilly and Tony DeAngelo, 2 Minnesota Wild legends, dude.
I'm going to be pretty insufferable when it comes to the Ryan O'Reilly jokes. Like, it's never going to stop.
That's me.
I mean, I got the jersey. It's solidified. In fairness, then, actual Wild MVP, like Matt Boldy at least looked the part, right? We feel okay about that going into the break.
Yeah, no, his last couple of games, he's looked really good. I mean, the Carolina game too. And that was a huge win for them. That was another weird one where it was like, I feel like, especially last couple of years, that last like 2 minutes of that third period where it was like all Carolina, they held firm still. And I mean, Gustafsson came up massive with a few big time saves, which is also good to see. I feel like he's been up and down like last like 10 or so games maybe. But even then, like, even he came out and made some big saves. But like that onslaught for the last 2 minutes of that game, the fact they were able to like just keep it together and pull it out, that was an impressive win, obviously. Man, I tell you though, like Carolina, I don't know what the deal is, but like even with Rantanen, I feel like they're gonna like they're still just gonna hit the postseason. Just that style of just relentless hockey. I don't know how you do that for 82 games and expect to make a deep run. Like, it's crazy to me, like how fucking hard they go for 60 minutes, 82 games a year. But yeah, I don't know. The Rantanen thing's interesting too, which we'll be able to like blend that into the Four Nations talk, because that's something that's going to be interesting for me to watch.
Yeah, those of you that are, I guess, whether you're watching live. Oh, do we have a little bit of a lag here?
A little bit.
Oops. Whatever. Yeah, for those watching live or listening on podcast, at the end of this live recording, we're actually going to be recording this week's Fellowship of the Rink as well. featuring an interview that we already banked with Scott Wheeler, but Joe Smith taken off for Portugal during Four Nations. Lucky him. So got Z riding shotgun with me there. That's where a lot more of the prospect talk is going to be, both from him and the interview with Scott Wheeler. But stay tuned on that. And the Rantanen thing actually will probably be covered a little bit more in the hot take segment on that one. All right. So DeAngelo and Boldy, joint MVP. Got to talk about a guy that got a lot of hate. Vinnie Hinostroza. If you saw the comments on Russo's article when he got claimed, like people were ready to burn things because he was going to be part of the Wild. Weird. Things worked out okay.
Yeah. It was like, was it the first period, the first game that he scores? I mean, like, whatever. You can say whatever you want about the goal, but I mean, I was curious to see, because I mean, especially with Hines recently, or not recently, this whole year, like outside of the top six, actually, I guess realistically the first three lines, like a lot of those guys that either come up or whatever, like get claimed, like the ice time is pretty low. I think he played like 17 and a half minutes against the Islanders too. And I mean, at this point, like with how many injuries they have, and now Eriksson Ek's another one, great. Again, but like I was curious to see like how much he'd actually like be on the ice. But I mean, he's been fine. And I like, is he signed through next year?
That's a good question. I'll find that right now. But
I'm surprised how much anger there was about that though. Like it was like,
yeah,
making like what, like 800, if that.
Yeah. His contract, it was just signed this summer. So yeah, his 2-year deal will go next year too. It's gonna be.
That's the thing that's interesting to me is like, all right, well.
I mean, worst case, you just waive him, right? Like,
right.
But I don't want this because I'm not hating on the player like so many others are. But imagine being claimed by a team right as your good friend Ryan Hartman gets a 10-game suspension. What if he just takes Ryan Hartman's spot? Like Hartman doesn't get to play anymore this year because of this situation, because Hinostroza comes in, plays so well, don't have room for both, and Hartman's just chilling.
Feels likely. It's likely. I forgot they were like close buddies too.
I gave you the picture.
No, I know. I'm just like once it came up, that's when I was like, oh shit, that's right. He's also played for like 5 teams last 6 years. But yeah, I mean, like it's at least as far as this year goes, with where they're at with injuries. I mean, this guy, he's played over 300 games. He's had a couple of real good years. Obviously, he had some health issues last couple of years, but like works hard. He's got some offensive skills. Like he can score. Like
nice guy.
Felt like a pretty like not crazy like waiver wire pickup for free. I don't know if it's just like the fact that he has another year on his deal that people are like, that's another fucking contract. I mean, but like again, same thing. Like you could just nothing is binding as far as like if you. Yeah, you can waive him again. Like, I don't know. But, like, I don't know. Felt like a pretty reasonable pickup, especially, again, for free. You give up nothing. He makes less than $1 million. Like, he's an NHL player. He's played a lot of games. He scored goals. Like, he can give you a little bit of something in your middle six, probably. But, yeah, and obviously, first game scores a goal, which is nice. But that was an interesting pickup. I didn't see it coming. But, yeah, I was fine with it. I was surprised. Like you said, I was shocked with like not just like the amount, but like the level of like anger. It was like, oh shit, okay, this feels weird. But
Wild fans haven't had anything to be like overly angry about in a while, besides the home performance. But we don't even need to go any further into that.